I'm in love with the animate earth. And I grew up in the Ohio River Valley, wandering around, exploring the creeks, streams, rivers, climbing the trees, nestling my body in the leaf piles, and up to my knees in the swampy areas. My body is mostly water. So when I'm in a swampy area, it's like swamp and swamp. And it's a continuum of wetness. I'm kind of obsessed with water these days and thinking about the world as a continuum of wetness. And if creativity exists somewhere, I think it must, in a body, it must be in the life-giving flow of water. I've been in Knoxville now for 17 years, and I wake up every morning, I breathe in the world, I open my eyes to the sunlight that comes in, I go in the bathroom, I wash my hands with water, put water on my face, and in through the window comes beams of light, and it hits across my bare chest. Beautiful color. It continues through, going across Graciella's face, landing there, trying to wake her up. I close the bathroom door, and I'm in dialogue with the animate world. I don't want her to wake up. and then there's this sunlight, right? The sunlight animating everything, shining on everything. I'm just in love with it, continuously enamored with my surroundings. And what I'm doing when I'm making art is pure dialogue. It's dialogue with the animate world. It's dialogue with people. It's dialogue with the wind, with water, sun, the whole bit. And so really the pieces that I put out around Knoxville, we've been here for 17 years, and the pieces that I put out are radically collaborative, always. Always they're about relationship. Always they're connection. So let's go to that one. That's the love. Okay, and then another one. And this is about relationship. So when I go to when we create in relationship, everything's going really well. Let's go to the next one. These pieces that I create are all over Knoxville at this point, and maybe some of you have run into some of my work. If you have, I hope that this work spoke to you. This is the Labor Day Sunflower Project. The former slide was the beginning of Labor Day Sunflower. What happened is I woke up Labor Day morning 17 years ago, and I started thinking about collective work. I started thinking about labor and farm workers and just how important this work is that sustains us in our collective work. And I had grown some sunflowers. I cut the sunflowers, and I took them down to the fence at the Bellevue Park where we lived up in North Knoxville and wove a circle of sunflowers there. The next year, it looked pretty cool. And the next year, a friend grew sunflowers, Josh Bremseth, and brought them down, and it got a little bit bigger. Following year, some more friends did it. And then this is us at the Emporium right out front here. And we decided to come down and do it at the Emporium. And in that little trough is seeds. So we decided that year to pass out seeds and get people to try to participate for the next year. And we started thinking about this project as a way, an opportunity to celebrate our collective work in Knoxville, the beauty that we create together. So when somebody brings an individual sunflower, that's what they've created. That represents what they've created, the beauty they've created. And when we put them all together into this giant circle, that symbolizes what we create together. Okay. And here we are at Crutch Park Extension, and now we have a 17-foot by 17-foot fence with 420-pound buttresses holding it up, and and we have dancers, and we have music, and people bringing sunflowers, and probably, I don't know, 1,000 sunflowers. And you'll see in the middle there's seed heads. And what we do is the installation stays up for about 2 weeks, and then we take the seed heads off, we winnow them and package them up and bring them out into the community for people to participate the following year. So this is Trash Ball. Katie Wahlberg and I started the Trash Collective, and we did a lot of pieces about solid waste. And this was our mascot, and our mascot went all over Knoxville for a while. It was at the Rossini Festival, it was in the City County building, it was in Farragut Town Hall, it was at Bonnaroo, it was everywhere we went. And it was making plastic and all these things that really don't biodegrade and are really a problem, making the invisible visible. So it even ended up at Goucher College in Massachusetts. We actually crated that thing up and sent it to Goucher College for a show called The Ordinary Expands. I do a lot of pieces right around my house in the neighborhood. This is right across from our house. It faces our door, and it's a bark cart. I really want to do some more of this bark graffiti. I really like it. And it's the inverse or the reverse, right, of when somebody will carve so-and-so loves so-and-so in a beech tree. Well, this is taking bark and putting it back on what was a tree in a kind of reverence. Next one. This is a sign. This is a really strange thing because it's the first ever time that the sketch looks just like the piece, which is kind of weird. And but Brian Alexander and my nephew helped construct that. This is a sign at the Birdhouse Neighborhood Center in my neighborhood. This is a Southern Red Oak tribute. That piece of wood is from a giant red oak. And there was a lot of sorrow, and we needed some healing in the neighborhood because this just huge, majestic tree that was really healthy got cut down. The trunk was the size of that concrete pad that it sits on. It was just an amazing tree. Native Plant Rescue Squad, 10 years. It's been a nonprofit in Knoxville. Joy Grissom and I co-founded Native Plant Rescue Squad. And it's still going strong with Joy, a board of directors, a dedicated volunteer squad, and a lot of support in the community. And what we do, or what they do, is rescue plants that would otherwise be destroyed in the course of development or logging or what have you. So here's a volunteer digging up some yellow trillium. This site is actually now an apartment complex off of Alcoa. And she's going to be taking those plants to the Knoxville Botanical Gardens where the plants are sheltered and then are taken care of, nursed back to health, and then we bring them out into the community, schools, churches. This is the post office up on Broadway where there's a pollinator garden, and to people's residences. And this increases the ecological health of our region, and it also creates habitat and teaches people about these plants and connects them to their local ecosystem. This project was really led by the Fourth and Gill Woolly Bears, and we continue to maintain that. And what's a Woolly Bear organization? It's a land stewardship group in Fourth and Gill. And what we're doing is we're a bunch of critters in Fourth and Gill that are looking at our neighborhood as an ecological place, right? And how do we think about, what do we do then? What can we do to educate ourselves and others, and what projects can we do to improve the local ecology in our neighborhoods? And I'm happy to say that this idea is spreading to other neighborhoods, and it's starting to happen. So coming to a neighborhood near you is land stewardship groups. Here we are planting a meadow between the Expressway and 4th Avenue, and there's Mount Madaski. And there it is blooming. And if it wasn't cut off, there's if it wasn't cut off, there's a wild horse running through the meadow. And I do a lot of work at the Knoxville Botanical Gardens, and a few of the pieces that I have in the secret garden I'm going to show you. This is the little library with crossvine growing on it. This is a popular one with the kids. There's a nest with a cast concrete egg. The kids really love it. There's beautiful, beautiful stone walls at the Botanical Gardens, and I've had the pleasure to repair some. This wall had fallen down, and I repaired about 30 feet of it and put these stairs in, and my buddy Brian Alexander helped with that one. This is a piece, it's a sculptural planter. It's ceramic on top, steel, and rock on the bottom, and it has some native ferns in it. There's another sculptural planter. These are pieces that I've been working on now. They're domestic water shrines, and this is in process, so I wanted to show the mosaic work in that cast concrete base. But all of this driftwood that I used for that is from the Tennessee River. So this is Tennessee River Water Shrine. And on the top, if you can scroll it a little bit, there's a vessel up there. I don't know if you can get the top of that picture, but there's a vessel that's mosaiced and it holds water. So my idea is, the way I envision these is as you come into a space, into a house or residence, you would have one of these, and as you come in and as you leave, it reminds you of the sacredness of water. This is a millstone fountain at the Knoxville Botanical Gardens. It's my most recent offering out there. The water kind of like runs down the side and has a nice meditative tinkling sound. There was an iron ring around that millstone that I took off and used in the next piece. It kind of started to generate and inspired a piece. It was pitted. It had been in Williams Creek for years and years and years around that millstone, and it inspired a piece called The Moon in Williams Creek. So that's this piece. That's my mom, Diana. She's an artist and really modeled artist for us. She really values aesthetics, art, beauty, and empathy. And my dad really taught me to see things with my own eyes. And that's been an important tool for me as I move through as an artist. These are process pictures from that piece. I thought it'd be interesting to see it progressing. That bottom piece is a piece of karst limestone that I got from the Botanical Gardens. It made me think of a moonstone or something. And there it is in a garden. It's got some wild rosemary planted in that one. This is a raven piece that my nephew and I made recently. It's called Ember in My Hand, Ember on the Land. This piece is about the difficult relationship that humans have with fire, the kind of fraught relationship. It's a 6-foot raven. And this piece I just installed this fall. This is a yellow trillium, perennial and ephemeral. So it's about the ephemeral fleeting nature and the perennial persistent nature, the dual nature of these spring ephemerals and trillium. And it's sited in the woods where there's a huge patch of trillium. So I'm really anxious to get there in the spring and see it in bloom. And this is from the trail, how it looks. There's a little creek right there. So I remember being by the Great Miami River with a friend, and my friend reached down in the riverbank and unearthed some sand and gravel, tossed it into the air, and I could see it in the sunlight. And then when it met the water, it made the most beautiful sound. And my friend said, "That's my favorite sound." And I was in love. Thank you.